In the last hour, I received a report from Saudi Arabia that the Prince Sultan Air Base was under a new ballistic missile attack and that the Saudis were actively shooting those missiles down. I also learned that there will be an emergency Gulf Coordination Council meeting called tomorrow to align all of the Gulf states who are now facing attack from Iran, basically. All of the countries where the U.S. has bases, Qatar, UAE, Kuwait, Bahrain, as well as Saudi Arabia, they are all now facing incoming Iranian missiles, and that has really caused them to sort of get off the sidelines. And you'll remember when this started, Saudi Arabia said that the U.S. and Israel could not use their airspace to target and strike Iran. But now that Iran has fired on Saudi Arabia, that has changed, and Saudi Arabia, along with the other Gulf states, are entering this operation because they can't sit back and not defend their people from these incoming missiles. So that's significant. I think it's also significant, Martha, that these missiles being fired at the U.S. base in Saudi Arabia, also at the same time, more than a dozen missiles were fired at Israel. And we saw from Trey's reporting how one of those missiles got through and hit in central Tel Aviv. That was about the same time that we were confirming that the supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, had been killed in those strikes. And it's almost as though the IRGC would have launched a number of missiles simultaneously. We haven't seen quite that number of missiles fired at the same time at Israel in this round in the last 12 hours. Clearly, they were trying to get through the missile defense system and trying to make a point, a sort of a last gasp, if you will, and protest against the killing of not only Ali Khamenei, but based on my reporting, 5 to 10 of the top leaders of Iran's, the IRGC commander, as well as the defense minister and others, all of them taken out in that initial strike. And then just back to our original reporting in the last 2 hours, we learned from a senior U.S. defense official that the timeline for when the strikes would begin, the joint operation between Israel and the U.S., had to be moved up because of this intelligence that this meeting was taking place on a Saturday morning in Tehran. In Iran, they were feeling very complacent that it was still Shabbat as well as Ramadan and daylight when the U.S. normally doesn't strike, and that is when the intelligence came in that they were all meeting and the timeline was moved forward.